Silakan.
Good evening and salam sejahtera. Thank you all for finding time and visiting today's webinar on writing a winning research proposal. My name is Haili Lidwin Koyo, and I'm a lecturer in Faculty of Health Sciences at PICOMS International University College as your moderator for today. For your information, today's webinar is the continuity from our previous webinar entitled Cultivating a Research Mind, organized by a Research Management Center, RMC PICOMS. Before we begin our main topic for today, I would like to ask the audience out there, could you please help us to check if you can see and hear us well? And you may respond us by replying in the chat box below. Thank you. Can you hear us? All right, so great. Before we dive into the panel introduction, let me explain how you can talk to us during this webinar. If you have any question during this session, just write them in the chat box and we will leave no stone unturned to answer your question accordingly. Thank you. With us today, the most suitable person to share with us the amazing journey in writing a winning research proposal, Professor T.S. Dr. Azura Amit, Deputy Dean of Halal International Institute of Halal Research and Training, INHAT, from International Islamic University, IIUM. Welcome, Prof.
Thank you, Haili.
Professor T.S. Dr. Azura has more than 18 years of teaching experiences in the area of cell and molecular biology, genetic engineering, genomic, functional genomics research methodology, our topic for today, protein and bioprocess engineering, integrated and sustainable agriculture and halal science and toy lifestyle. Professor T.S. Dr. Azura graduated with Bachelor of Science with Education, first class honor, majoring in biology and minor in mathematics from University of Malaya in 1996, and Master in Science Plant Molecular Biology from University of Malaya too in 2001. She then obtained her PhD, Plant Molecular Biology, from the School of Biology Science, Royal Holloway, University of London, United Kingdom in 2004. Professor Dr. Azura is active in research product innovation and commercialized a few research IPs such as commercialized IPs, recombinant bromelain and bromelain cheese, cream cheese. She received grants from various agencies, more than 3 million ringgit Malaysia. She has published more than 90 journals articles, several books, and many more books chapters. She is actively involved in community engagement and knowledge transfer project in the area of halal and toy lifestyle and focusing on integrated and sustainability agriculture practices. She is now the executive editor of Halosphere Journal and also acts as an editorial member in various local and international peer-reviewed journals. She is also sitting as an expert panel member in several national and international committees, including the Asia Federation Biotechnologies Committee and the National Grand Review Committee, which is related to our topic for today. That is a bit of an introduction about Professor T.S. Dr. Azura. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, Prof. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us today, Prof.
No problem. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Prof, shall we start?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in the real world of higher education, Prof, a research proposal is most often written by a scholar seeking grant funding for a research project, or it's the first step in getting approval to write your doctoral dissertation. The first question, before we get into more exciting question, Prof, how to write a research proposal for a grant and how it is different from writing research proposal for a PhD degree?
Thank you very much, Haili. First of all, thank you everyone for spending your time today. Blessed to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala by giving me a chance to share this opportunity or this knowledge with all of you here. And also thank you to PICOM for giving me, again, giving me a chance to be with all of you. All right. To answer that questions, I think I would like to share, okay, my slides so I can explain
Sure.
to you. Okay.
Betul. Right. Sure.
All right. This is me. I'm from INHAD. All right. Okay. This is the contents, and first of all, when you said about what is the difference between what should we
how to write a research proposal.
To write a research proposal. Betul. Okay, I lost the. Okay, let me go first. How to write research proposal? First of all, you must know the national priority area. Okay, and every research grant, okay, it has different guidelines. Okay, for example, for FRGS, it's going to have a different guidelines from PRGS, from TRGS, and from LRGS, as well as MOSTI grant, okay, e-science and techno fund, and the innovative grants. All those grants have different guidelines. So first of all, what you have to see, what you have to read and digest is the guidelines.
I see.
Okay, because we doesn't want you to get rejected at the first glance of the technical area. Okay, if you fail to follow the guidelines, your proposal will be rejected under technical error. Okay, next, what you have to do, you must look at the national priority area. Okay, especially recently, we have the government's announced, okay, the 10-10 STIE framework. Okay, and also the others national priority area. So you must read and digest the document, so you know actually our country is focusing on what. Okay, one of the area is health. Okay, medical and health. Okay, I think for PICOM is suitable under medical and health.
Also right? Management, Prof.
And also management. Okay, under social science, right?
Yes.
Okay, then the third things is, okay, when the evaluator reading your proposal, the first things that they're going to look at, beside the technical suitability, they will going to look at the title.
I see.
So the title of the proposal must be catchy, must catch the attention of the assessor or the reviewer. Okay, if the title is too long, it's going to be a problem to the assessor, because each assessor, they're going to evaluate more than 10 proposals. I give example of PRGS. Every year, there's more than 500 proposals for FRGS. So you can imagine that each of the assessor, they have to read more than 10 proposals in a very limited days and times. So if they read your title, the title is not catchy enough, they will move to the next proposal, right? Okay, and number 4, it must be in line with your institute niche area.
Yeah.
Okay, example, for PICOMS, the management, health and medical will be the most suitable niche area. And don't worry, under health and medical, there's a lot of research can be conducted, because example, if it's related to halal, so we need medical device that consider halal, we need tools, we need apparatus that can be considered halal and toy for the patient to use. Okay. This is an example of the national priority area. Okay. So you can see here there is a 9 national priority area. So you can suit under number 7, which is healthcare and medicine. Right. Okay, next, this is the 1010 STE framework. Okay, Academy Science Malaysia announced this on the 10th of October, last month. They just announced this, okay? So our country is moving to the area where we are going to use a technology driver which suit the socio-economic driver, okay? So you should choose something that the area that using this listed technology driver, example 5G, 6G, sensor technology, 4D, 5D printing, advanced material, advanced intelligence system, cyber security and encryptions, and so on and so off. Okay, yeah. And you must map so that this technology is useful under which socio-economic driver. I think for PICOM, it's clearly see that medical and healthcare is one of the socio-economic driver that our country is going to focus on. So you are safe,
yes.
Because you already have a niche area where the country is look at. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this is very new,
Yeah.
And then, okay. Next, you have to know where you are. Okay, as an individual researcher, you have to map yourself to which NPA, and then can you suit under the IR 4.0?
Yes.
Okay, and in the research grant form, they also ask you about the research cluster and research domain. Okay, sometimes, the title of the proposal is not suitable with the research cluster or the research domain. So they wrongly map. This is considered as technical error. So I think the assessor at the institute level, for example, assessor at RMC of PICOMS, got to make sure or you have to tell your staff that carefully look under the research cluster and research domain so that your title, your methodology is in line with the research cluster and research domain that you mention in the title. Okay, so
Prof,
I think that's all.
Yeah,
I'll stop sharing.
Okay, sure. So, Prof, just now you mentioned about the catchy title. You catch my attention about the catchy title. So, about this catchy title, when we are searching for the research study on particular topic, I would say we probably notice the article with interesting descriptive research title drawing in. By contrast, research paper titles that are not descriptive are usually passed over, even though they have a good research paper with interesting contents, right, Prof? This shows that importance of coming up with a good title for your research paper when drafting your own manuscripts. So in your point of view, Prof, as you mentioned, the catchy title, we have to meet the national's needs, and also we have to meet the IR40, and the other one is our interest itself. So what is the correct way actually to develop a good title for our proposal?
Okay, a good research title should has one, what you want to do in your project.
I see. Yes.
It should mention what you want to do. Okay. Second, it should mention how are you going to do it.
How.
And finally, how are you going to apply? Because remember, you are asking money from somebody.
Yes.
And these people would like to know whether are your project going to give benefit to the, for example, in the case of Ministry of Education, definitely the ministry want to see whether your project is going to benefit in the human development of the human resource to the country. So you must have these three. Okay, what you want to do, how are you going to do, and what is the applications. Okay, so don't put too long title until the assessor lost by reading. Okay, it should be very concise, but it deliver everything that you want to know. And it's different between FRGS and PRGS and even community type of research and the innovation type of research. Okay, the title should be different. For example, FRGS, it should have the terms or the words that show it's a fundamental. And where for the PRGS, it should tell us that this is it's going to produce a prototype, or scaling up, okay, from the lab scale to the
from the first.
From the bench scale to the commercial scale, for example, or to whatever scale that you want to. And then for the community, it's different. For the innovative or techno-fund type of research, also different.
Yes. It will be interesting topic that later on we're going to discuss about this FRGS and PRGS, Prof.
Right.
Yes. So for the niche of the catchy title, so we must have three do's, how you're going to do it and how you're going to apply it, so to meet the requirements of that can beneficial to the communities. It's a good. So Prof, so sometimes novice scholars like me get the impressions that the background of study or problem statement is sufficient, or that weak connection to the concept supporting a study are all that are needed to connect the purpose to the literature. Unfortunately, without a literature review or a framework where the history and the big ideas of an area are discussed, a paper drifts. So I have found problematic, me, myself, and other friends out there, I believe, inability to articulate differences between theoretical framework and conceptual framework for a proposal research project. So my question is, Prof, in your opinion, what is the differences between a literature review, theoretical analysis, and of course the conceptual analysis?
Okay, to answer that, I'm going to share this one, which I got it from someone else.
Sure, Prof.
Okay, let me scroll down.
Okay.
Okay, this is from Andrew Messing from Harvard University.
Yes.
Okay. It says that for the literature review, okay, how it's different from what you asked just now. Okay, literature review should have actually explained those that are part of the research process. Okay, after deciding on your research questions. Okay, remember when you do you do a proposal, or you are producing a research proposal, research question is very important. This is the first things that you must have when you are starting your research questions. Okay, after you decide your research question, you are start doing your literature. So it decide on a research question on looks at previous related research to see not only what the current state of the research is, but also what method, experimental design, and etc. Means that when you do literature review, actually you are digging information, what other people have been done with the same area, in the same area.
Yes.
How deep they gone, and where is the gap that you can fill in. Okay, let me tell you one thing. For the FRGS research proposal, many people didn't put the research gap. Okay, although you can see that in the grant, they didn't ask for research gap. But research gap is very important to show to your assessor that you are not going to repeat what other people have been done. You're not going to reinvent you are going to show to them the area that other people didn't answer yet. Okay, how to do that is through the literature review. You will not going to get the research gap unless you do a thorough literature review. And I like, in my proposal, I like to put a table. Okay, for example, maybe I'm proposing a new methodology.
Yes.
So I provide a table. I list down all the methodology. For example, maybe I want to do purification of collagen, for example.
Yes.
I want to propose new method to purify collagen. So I put all the method of what other people has been done and what is the purity of the process. So then finally on the last lane of the table, I'm going to say that this is my solutions, okay? And this is what I'm going to do and I'm expecting what. So, sometimes because there is so many proposal, this type of table actually really helpful to let your assessor understand what you want to do. And many researchers do not do this, do not provide the research gap. If for me lah, as an assessor, I really like when the applicants provide me with research gap table, because it summarizes the whole write up. Sometimes people write many paragraphs, but the content is not there, so it's good to have that kind of table.
The process and the process of the gap that we can enter.
Yes.
To fill up.
Where you want to fill up.
Yes.
Okay. And literature review also assess a question in some field. Okay. Example, meta-analysis. Okay, right. And then part of a research paper that review the literature is an empirical study. You do it empirically. The other two actually is, okay, for example, theoretical. So you are focusing on theoretical only. Okay? Theoretical analysis, you refer to an actual analysis of empirical data obtained through experiment, but with a focus on theory rather than application. This is also coming from Andrew Messing, Harvard University. Okay. And the conceptual analysis used more regularly in a specific sense, but for the most part, this term can refer to any non-quantitative analysis. They do not in general have the kind of specific sense that literature review has. Okay, normally in literature review, you're going to explain all the concept that has in your title.
Yeah.
Okay, remember in your title you have few words, right? So you have to explain the meaning of each of the words, okay, in the title, and also the gap that you want to fill in. Okay, this is for actually it's same as the whether you do it your PhD proposal or your grant proposal. Research gap is very, very important.
I see. So looking and filling up the gap to develop problem statement.
Yes.
I see. Okay, as I know, Prof, the first step of conducting a study is identifying a previous unexplored area of research. Choosing untapped area in the research field will improve our chances of getting published. But the big question, how to decide which research problem should we study? Some researchers have clear idea about the research problem that they want to pursue. However, researchers, particularly those who are at the early stage of their career, like me, find themselves in a fix when they have to zero down on the research topic that is original and innovative. So what is the best way to identify the research gap in existing research in the field, Prof?
Okay, let us compare this with with a car, example.
I see. Okay.
Okay. When you first do your reading, okay, you will read the bigger scenario. Example, you will read, what is a car? Okay. Then you finally found that a car has what? Tire, a car has structured body, engine, and so on. And then you narrow down. You may not interested in studying the engine of the car.
Yes.
Because your nature, remember the few slides before, I told you that you have to study yourself. You have to know your ability. Okay, you might not good at studying engine of the car, but you are good at study the material to build a car. Okay, then after you read all those things related to car, you're going to focus on the materials. Okay, from there you have to study what other people have done with the material of the car.
Yes.
Then after you do this, then you come out with a research gap. Using your critical mind, okay, you have to narrow down and search where does other people lack of research. Which part of the research that other people didn't do. Example, maybe in the healthcare what is your area, Brother Haili?
Medical laboratory, Prof.
Medical laboratory management.
Management? No, it's medical laboratory on technologies. Biomedical. Yes.
Biomedicals. Okay.
Yes.
I give you an example. Actually, I'm running one of the research now.
I see.
Looking at the stress device, stress monitoring device.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Academician, can we always claim that you are stressed, you know?
Yes.
Especially during the exam time, not the student stress. Even
we also stress. The lecturer also got stressed. Yes.
Yes. Especially when you mark.
Yes, when we marking the paper.
So you always complain, oh, I am so stressed today. Are you really stressed?
How are we gonna say that we stressed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So all this while, okay, if you want to measure the stress, okay, some researcher under psychology, they will look at, they will provide you with a survey form and ask you to answer all those things, okay. And other thing that you can use is you can measure the cortisol in the blood.
Okay? I see. Yes.
Okay. But the idea of sucking blood from a patient, the patient will run away.
That's right. That's right.
Right. So if you can provide a device, okay, where we just put something on their finger, then it will tell them actually they are not stressed. The psychological impact will be different, you know.
Yes.
So this is something this is what we call it a gap. A gap needs you to read a lot of things and finally you have a solution. Yeah, why not? What if? So as a researcher, as a good researcher, you always have to apply a question of what if.
What if?
What if I have a device that can measure the stress by putting on the finger?
Yes.
Putting something on the finger.
Because we draw blood, it's actually increase the cortisol level, which is it will be biased result. Yes, that's right. That's right.
See? Or other things like you know, dengue.
Yes, dengue.
Okay. In many cases, okay, patient doesn't want to go to the hospital. So the when they have fever, they doesn't want to go to hospital because
they wait until five days, something like that.
Yes, because but the idea of when they go to hospital, their blood will be sucked out.
Yes.
So they will wait. When they wait, okay, then the condition going to be worse.
Worst.
Right? Okay. So what if, okay, what if there is a tools that can actually measure through the urine?
It's more easier to get the sample from the urine.
Yes.
Yes.
See? So that means that the patient can do by themselves at home.
And they can comply.
Of course, when it's positive, then they go to the hospital. See?
That's correct.
Okay, this one I have
Filling up the research gap.
Yes. So this research, I have one. I have one project with our staff from Kolej of Medicine. So we are doing that now. What we do, we try to find a biomarkers in the urines, okay, that can show that actually they are positive dengue. See, this is something like, you know, to be innovative, you cannot read in your area only.
Yes.
You have to sometimes read other people's area.
Big picture.
You are expert in this. For example, I'm a molecular biologist.
Yeah.
So I'm expert in the molecular biologist. I have no issue with the biomarkers. Okay. And I know that INHAT has the ability to identify biomarkers because we have the instrument that can do that. Yes. But I'm not a medical doctor. So then we have to collaborate. We have to find a co-researcher from the medical school that can help to understand some of the, you know, the things that
specific expert area. Yes.
Yes, this is where a collaboration comes in. You cannot do research alone. Okay.
This is really important when we go for applications in a fund as for FRGS and PRGS.
Yes. So from today, okay, practice yourself. Okay. To all I mean, not to hide you. Okay. To all who listening, practice yourself to ask what if. What if, you know, when you see a problem, so you try to ask what if, you know. Being a researcher is good to do a lot of observation. In my, I think that 2 weeks ago, whatever, the talk that I give to PICOM, I said that go to the ground, right? Join the community, and you will understand the true problem of the community. So sitting with them, looking at the problem, do some readings, and start asking what if.
What if?
You find the research gap.
Yes. What if? To find a research gap. Very nice words. No, I know. I learned something new. What if? All right. So we believe, Prof, research proposal is intended to convince others that we have a worthwhile research project and that we have the competence and the work plan to complete it. Generally, a research proposal should contain all the key elements involved in the research process and include sufficient information for the readers to evaluate the proposed study. So the question is, we talk about just what we talked about just now. What is actually the essential details, the keys of essentials to be included in a good research proposal, Prof?
Okay, let me share with you something.
Okay, Prof.
Okay, can you see this one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, it doesn't. All right. Okay. So first of all, when you want to come out with a grant proposal,
Yes.
Whether it's a grant proposal or it's a PhD proposal, Okay, for the grant proposal, definitely you must have a good track record. For PhD proposal, no need, because you just started your journey as a student or as an academician or researcher. Yeah. But for the grant, if you apply grant proposal, please make sure that your CV, your CV, for example, for the my grant, there's a section where you have to provide all the CV. So before you apply the grant, make sure you fill in all your CV.
Completed. Yes. Letters.
Until a day before.
Yes, and including these community services.
Yes. Because assessor want to see whether it's okay to give it's okay to give money to these applicants.
Yeah. Trusted or not trusted?
Trusted or not trusted? Worth it or not to give 100,000 to these people, right?
Yes.
Second, okay, the executive summary or the abstract. Under the grant, they call it executive summary, but for your PhD proposal, is your abstract. So your executive summary must be catchy, concise,
and construct.
Must contain the problem statement. You must tell what is the problem statement that you want to answer.
Yes.
And what is your solutions you want to provide? How are you going to solve the problem, which is your methodology, okay? And what is the significance of this research? What's so good about your research? Okay, you ask money from people.
Yes.
You have to tell why it's so good, because there's a lot of other applicants also asking the same grant.
Big amount of money.
Yes, true. And then your background, okay? Do thorough write up lah, but not too lengthy until there is no, is moderately lah. Moderate enough so it will tell the assessor the problem statement, the hypothesis, the research questions, and the literature review. In your literature review, remember, you must put your research gap.
Research gap,
okay? And then for this one, same, whether it's a grant proposal or PhD proposal, both needs research background, okay? And then for the grant proposal, you must show that it has relevant to government policy, where PhD proposal is not necessarily. It's not yet, okay? You are learning how to do research for PhD level. References, as possible, the 5 years letters.
5 years later.
Because they want to see that you are up to date.
Yes.
Okay. Objective. Okay, your objective must be SMART. Specific, measurable, A is what? I don't remember. Realistic and time, according to the time frame. SMART. Okay. And your methodology, your description of the methodology, your flow chart, your research activity, milestone and dates. The flow chart should be self-explainable. Means that when the assessor doesn't have time to read the description of the methodology, sometimes they will go to the flow chart. If your flow chart is self-explainable, then it's going to save a lot of their time to read all the description. Okay? Don't forget all this. You must put. Without that, it's considered technical error. Okay. And your expected output, if your PhD proposal, you doesn't need that expected output, such as a theory, where application, you don't produce human resource from your PhD proposal. But for your grant proposal, you must produce human resource. And what is the impact to society, economy, and nation? And it's good to have IP, at least a copyright. Okay?
Yes.
If you ask FRGS proposal, in some area it's very difficult to produce patent. But for medical and health, I think you can get a lot of patent from your research. Equipment, okay. I believe not all institute, except the research university, they've been equipped with a lot of equipment, sophisticated one. But some institute doesn't have all the equipment. So if you don't have the equipment, you have to tell where are you going to get. So that means you should have a collaborator from other university that having the equipment. And this one, for budget example, in a PhD proposal, you doesn't have to provide budget. And your supervisor is not going to ask how much you're going to spend for this project. But for grant proposal, they want to see the budget. And please provide
Quotations.
If you didn't provide quotation, you just simply put the numbers.
The numbers.
The one that access your proposal are very experienced people.
Yes.
They already in the area as academician more than 5 years. Some already at 20 years, you know. So they know each of the
price?
each of the item that you put, they already know the price.
Yes.
So you cannot simply put any numbers. So it's good to have the budget. Okay. And then you can start from now. Example, this January, maybe the January 2021, Ministry of Education will launch the FRGS 2021.
Yes.
So you should start from now collecting all the quotation. If you work last minute, it's going to be stress.
Yeah. Nobody gonna give the quotation.
Yeah. I have to produce the device fast lah to check whether you really stressed or not.
Oh, we waiting for that, Prof. Okay, Prof. So let's say we already receive grant, and then we already run our research, and then we already collected and we process everything, and then we write up things like article journals. So we move to the publication, let's say. So everyday scientists post dozens of preprint which study that have not been peer reviewed on a public server such as bioRxiv, if I'm not mistaken. Studies say preprint allows scientists to access to cutting edge finding faster than when authors submit their findings to the traditional journals pre-review, which often take months to complete the review. As a preprint, indeed trending nowadays, Prof. So not much to say, but I'm fully aware that Prof also one of the peer review member, and I'm not against peer review, Prof. But I think there is an advantage with preprints as they can be published immediately with a DOI, cited, etc. I think it's a good way of sharing your result raw before a peer reviewer triggers modification. The chances to receive thousands of feedback from more than 2 reviewers is also important advantage. Thus, every scholar share the same objective to produce better and quality of their research work, which lead to the impact factor journals in such way. I think this is quite debatable question. What is your opinion, Prof? Preprint versus peer review towards impact factor journals?
Okay, I would ask, first question I will ask you again lah. You ask me a question, I ask you again.
Sure.
When you write something, what is your niat?
I see.
What is your intention?
We wanted to accomplish our objective in research.
Okay. If you want to, because for example, under grant, okay?
Okay.
One of the KPI is that you must produce index journal.
Index journal. And student also.
Yes, if you produce preprint, you're not going to fulfill your KPI.
I see.
See? And another thing is that for your promotion, for example, okay, you have to ask the management service, okay, when they allow you to get promoted, what are they looking for? Are they looking for preprint or are they looking for index journal?
Journals.
Yes. So you now you know, so
yes.
you decide. But okay, but if you already at the very high level, okay, you already at what, VK, Professor A, for example.
Yes.
You that's not necessarily, I mean, that's not what you want anymore. I mean, what you want to look for, you already at Professor A, so you doesn't
really need that. Yeah.
Yes, but you want to share your knowledge.
Yes.
Okay, you said that, you have a knowledge. If you don't share to people, when you die, it will die with you.
Yes.
But you want to share, so this is maybe one of the way. Not even preprint, you can publish in newspapers, publish yes. in okay, now YouTube is another
platform.
Another platform that
TikTok.
Yes. So that's why I said it depends on your intention. You want to share because of what?
Yes.
If you want to share and you doesn't want to get credit, go ahead, you know. But if you share because you still need that publication for your promotion, for you to fill in the KPI of the grant, so go for index publication.
I see. I prefer peer review because we can get more transparency, comments, and how to say, and to improve our writing.
Yes. No, because as an academician, throughout our life, people will comment. And don't be too sensitive with the comment. Actually, the comment is good for you to improve. To get to your track faster, you know.
Yeah.
People will tell you, maybe sometimes when you first time receive comment from the reviewer of the
feeling down, I'm feeling down.
You're feeling down for 2 weeks, you know.
Yeah, I'm feeling down for more than 2 weeks, Prof.
but you have to get used to it, because throughout your life and academician, you will get those kind of comment.
Yeah.
So don't get it too long. Don't stop for too long. You know, I know because my PhD student down.
So we have to rest out again.
Yeah. Don't worry. Just assume that this is a comment that people give to you to make sure that you become a better academician.
Yes.
And we are not perfect. I also know some people that doesn't want to produce because they want to produce something that so perfect until didn't produce anything. You know?
That is wrong.
So no need to be that. You know, we are human beings.
Yes.
You are not 100% perfect. People will comment you whether you're good or you're wrong. You know, you will get comment. Whether it's positive or negative, just accept it
in a positive way.
Yeah, with open mind. Okay.
All right. Okay, Prof. So knowing that, we get back to our FRGS and PRGS. A grant is an amount of money gifted to an organization by another organizations or individual for a specific purpose. So grant money does exist, but it is increasingly hard to find it and typically has a complicated application process to earn that grant money. I was intrigued by the previous webinar. Prof has spoken and explained about the research funding under Malaysia Ministry of Education's MOE. As usual, the criteria change every year, Prof. So what are the differences between a fundamental and FRGS? You did say, explain just now, and how actually to apply also, and how much is the maximum fund for the FRGS and PRGS?
Okay, I answer by sharing.
Okay, sure.
Because I already prepared that. Okay. Oh, not this one. Hold on. Okay. Can you see the slide?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
all right.
It's clear.
Okay.
Yep.
So, this is the difference between FRGS and PRGS. Okay. FRGS is definitely fundamental. The name is fundamental research grant. Where PRGS is not fundamental, is for you to produce a prototype. Means that you do FRGS first. Once you complete your FRGS, then you can apply for PRGS.
Cannot jump directly to prototype development.
Yeah.
Okay.
The proof of concept, you have to do the proof of concept while doing the FRGS. Once it's proof, then you go for PRGS.
Prototype, yes.
Okay.
How about 70% completed FRGS, Prof?
You can apply.
Apply for the prototype. All right.
But it's good if you register your IP first.
Yes, better.
Your chance is better.
Yes.
Okay. So under the FRGS, you proof of concept ready, not yet ready, FRGS. I give example like for the dengue, for example.
All right.
Finding the biomarker is FRGS. Okay. So finding the suitable chemical that react with a certain biomarker is FRGS. But once you get the proof of concept of chemical A can react with biomarker B, for example, to produce certain color. And now you want to test to set up the system, then it's going to be PRGS.
PRGS.
Okay, GRA. For FRGS, you can appoint GRA. PRGS, you can appoint GRA.
Oh, okay.
But you can appoint RO.
RO, yes.
FRGS, RO, Research Officer. FRGS, Graduate Research Assistant. Okay.
We produce students, right? Under FRGS.
Yes, FRGS, you must produce student. Where PRGS, you appoint research officer to help. RO. Amount, okay. For FRGS is 250 max.
I see.
Okay, but I don't know next year because 2021 they may change.
They change every year.
So that's why I said you must read and digest the guidelines.
The guidelines properly.
So PRGS so far is 500,000. Okay, but they will change again. Okay. Objective. Okay, for PRGS, your objective is you want to produce new theory, where the PRGS you want to produce prototype.
Yeah.
Output, I think the same, except that PRGS they want you to produce the prototype lah. That can be run. Okay, that means workable prototype.
Workable. So
duration for PRGS is 3 years. Okay, 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Where the PRGS 1 to 2 years.
1 to 2 years. Okay, Prof. I would like to add some more, Prof. What actually the most common rejections research fund application?
Depends on how much money
I see.
we have on that year.
Okay.
But so normally it's like 15% pass. 15%.
Okay, so talk about members of research because the background of say have to be completed profile in the my grant. So not as we know, if let's say the applicant is not a PhD holder, never apply any grants under MOA. Maybe some might apply but rejected, or some of them only receive fund by university level grant only, which small amount of fund like 5,000. Are these criteria also affecting the area, research fund application, Prof? Okay,
if you just started the university grant, okay, show that your track record is okay. You finish on time. If you have 5,000 from the university, but then you didn't finish on time, that is going to be effect.
I see.
But even if you have 5,000, but you finish on time, you publish a paper, then
it's a good track record.
Yes, because they will also see whether you are the young one, or the experienced one.
Because Prof, let's say all the members is none of them is actually have received this FRGS grant. Is that affecting also the research fund application, Prof?
Okay, one of the criteria that they look when we assess the grant is they are looking at the team.
Yes, that's.
Yes, it's good to have balanced team.
Okay.
It means that if you are the young one, the just one who started your career, add your mentor in. Means that add a professor or associate professor that have roughly similar area with you, so that it can show to the assessor that yes, I am young, but I have a backup.
I see.
I have someone that going to guide me throughout the whole 2 years if I have problem.
So government will trust, okay, they have a backup from the mentor experience enough to guide these young fellows like me.
Actually, good to have a mentoring system.
Mentoring system.
I don't know whether PICOM has this mentoring system.
I think there's some question on that mentoring from the audience, Prof. But it's okay.
It's good to have mentoring if you are smart enough, okay, you should attach yourself to a good mentor. One, because you don't have to learn from scratch.
Yes. That jump up that.
You jump up. Two, your mentor have network.
Yes.
So when you attach yourself with him, means that you're also in the network. See, networking is very important as an academician. So it's good to not to repeat the mistake that your mentor did. You know, if you join the mentor, your
shorten up. Yes, yes. So, Prof, like, can we have like more mentors instead of one mentor?
Yes, you can have more than one mentor, except that don't choose your mentors A and mentor B is enemy to each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Then you're going to be
the hair wire. We're going to sketch up.
Going to become sandwich. You know?
Sandwich. That's right. Okay. Good point of that. Okay, Prof. Before we end up, like my question, on my question. So the last question for myself. Any tips, or should I say secret recipe to win the research proposal for FRGS? If you don't mind to share with us, Prof.
Secret recipe. Okay, secret recipe is to find a critical research gap.
Yes.
Those that other people and try to be innovative lah.
Innovative. That one is a secret recipe. Innovative. We have to. So I have to look at bigger pictures of cars instead of doing this. I have to do that. So we'll be different.
Some people, when they finish their PhD, and then we tell them that you should read of other area as well, because
that's right.
Sometimes the solution is in another area, but some say that no lah, because I do this PhD in this area, I don't want to look at the other
areas. I don't want to learn about other areas.
No, cannot. You're not going to be innovative.
Yes.
To be innovative, you should read a lot.
Yeah.
Find the solutions. Okay.
Try something new also.
Yes. Try something new.
Okay. Thank you for sharing the information with us, Prof. It was very informative. So we will go ahead and take some time for questions from the audience now. Just a reminder to audience out there, please be sure to type your question in the chat box below. Okay. So it looks like we have a few questions, Prof. From Haja Vilmajana. Okay, thanks for sharing this, Prof. Aside from those mentioned for writing a title of a research, which should be feasible, aside from its feasibility, what else that we need to identify in the research title?
Maybe you should show the novelty of the solutions that you're going to provide. Okay, means that if the project finish, then there's a novelty in the area where you can publish good papers, good index papers, and so on.
I see. So second question from Mr. Muhammad Ashraf Saleh. He said, Prof, how about the chance of a social science to apply national grants?
Definitely, there is a chance because
cluster domain.
There is a social science domains.
Yes.
You have the same chance as the science.
As everyone else.
Yes.
I see. Okay. So for the next question, Prof, from Miss Siti Zahara Ahmad, for PhD project, can we request for fund?
Okay, all right. As a student, you cannot apply, but your supervisor can apply. For your information, all my PhD students actually work under my research grant. When they work under research grant, they receive graduate research assistantship. Okay, and some of them got scholarship from the university. It's going to make your life a bit easier. You have your pocket money. you can use this to pay the tuition fee and so on. But as a student, you cannot apply. But your supervisor can apply.
Yeah, good. Okay, so I think, do we have any question from the audience? You may just feel free to post and chat in our chat box. Okay, Prof, I think we still got time. So without data, we talk about data, okay? There won't be any information. Therefore, no matter how data may seem random and useless, it is actually considered to be the most important and basic unit of any information structure or body of knowledge. It helps a scholar to answer queries, stated research questions, test the hypothesis, and evaluate outcomes. In your perspective point of view, Prof, how actually to identify the method of collecting data? And can we use both quantitative and qualitative data to strengthen our research study?
All right, okay. I teach a research methodology.
Yes.
Okay. And I found out that, long time ago when I start my research, I thought that, okay, actually the research is divided into social science and science, where the social science mostly do questionnaire and survey and interview, where the scientists, most of the time, they're going to do experiment in the laboratory or they do the field work, okay, to collect the data. But actually, okay, how you collect your data is determined by your research questions. Okay? Example, okay, one research project can have quantitative and qualitative method of data mining.
They said qualitative is much more surfaces compared to the quantitative. So can we just use qualitative in the applications of FRGS grant?
Yes, why not? It depends on your research question. For example, okay, for example, if you want to exploration type of research question, for example, I think you can use, and it depends who you want to explore. What is your sample? If your sample is human being, a questionnaire, which is interview, interview, which is qualitative.
Yes or no?
Yes, this is you can use that. So it depends on your research question, what you want to answer, what you want to know from that.
Can we improve like the qualitative observational into more specific, so that it will be more can strengthen our research study?
Yeah, that means you test for example, first you screen, first you explore, okay? Let me give example of the easiest one. You want to explore the perceptions of patients when you give them certain drugs, for example. Okay, so you can use interview.
Yes.
Or you can use questionnaire.
I see.
So then, once you get this, the answer from your explorations, you want to confirm that. Okay, you want to test that. So you can use interventions. It's experimental actually.
Yeah, it's experimental.
And it is actually quantitative.
Yes.
See? So it means that one research project, not necessarily quantitative or qualitative or. It can be a mixture.
It's a mixed picture.
So it's the wrong concept. All this while
me also have the wrong concept.
All this while I thought that it's going to be separated. No, it can be a mix. It depends on the research question. That's why I told you, when you start your research, you must have a concrete, solid research questions which determine the methodology of the research
study. I see. So how are we going to show our data so that it will make the proposal more stronger? How actually we going to provide the data? I mean,
okay,
what kinds of
for qualitative.
Yeah.
Now there is a software to translate those interview coding into data that can be accepted. You know,
Accepted.
I don't remember, but they use it because when I read proposal, I come across with this software name. Okay.
Oh, nice.
And for quantitative, definitely you can use the statistical
statistical analysis.
Tools to analyze your data, and definitely is going to be accepted if you use the correct, because statistical analysis also have different analysis. So you have to choose the correct one to analyze your data. So both actually is accepted.
So I'm quite interesting in such way when Prof say the observational studies. So the questions of the survey of observational study itself, can we just like retrieve from the other studies to be a part of our study, or we have to create or build up a new one to develop a new one? And if let's say we have to create a new one, how actually we gonna say that there is the questions observational survey is valid, reliable?
Okay, have you come across a manuscript with a title meta-analysis?
I did some meta-analysis, which is it's some like a small piece of systematic review, but it's just in a form of
They use a certain software actually to measure whether for example I have one paper that I use I use the software. It measure, for example, you treat patient with curcumin.
Yes.
And then there is many paper actually reported on clinical study using curcumin. From kunyit Okay, so you want to check whether what is the dosage that's suitable.
Yes.
How long should you treat? So actually there is software, you collect all the data from other study, and then you analyze with the software. The software will finally tell you actually for you to use curcumin in cancer treatment, you have to give high dose, and
the range of dose.
And then it must be more than 3 months. Then it's going to be effective. You cannot give that for example just once, and then no repeated treatments.
Yes.
There is a software actually to do this meta-analysis. So you collect the data, you collect the result from other people, and then you analyze.
That is great.
A lot medical research using this actually. Using this software.
So actually a lot of tools that we can use nowadays actually to improve our research and writing up the research study itself. It's very good. It's new information.
I can give suggestion that next time if you want to do another web or workshop, for example,
yes, Tim.
You call those people that are good at using the software, but not me lah. I'm not that good.
Prof, it's good enough for us actually.
There's a certain people that are expert in using the software, and then they can come and give you a workshop how to use the software. Meta-analysis.
I see. So when we talk about meta-analysis, it is like related to systematic review, right, Prof?
Yes.
Okay, it's good. Okay, so I think wait, we just wait for the other question from the. All right, there is no question from the audience. So, Prof, do you have any, like, before we end up our webinar for today, do you have any kata-kata semangat, that motivational talk, motivational speech, and any conclusions for our webinar today?
Okay, motivation. the journey is still too long for you all.
Yes, still young. We are young researcher.
Okay, never give up. Okay, a comment from others is just a tool for you to become better.
Yes.
Okay, and remember, a butterfly will not be able to fly if they didn't open the, what they call it, kepompong tu by themselves.
Yes, it's right.
So there's nothing good if everything is easy for you.
Yeah, you must be halfway.
Yeah, to become academician, there is no fast track. Yeah. This is a career that really require maturity.
Maturity, yes.
Yeah. Take your time to move from one step to the other, to make sure you really matured in. For example, if you now are a lecturer, make sure you know everything about a lecturer. Means that you know how to teach, you know how to write a proposal, you know how to write a paper. Then you move to associate professor.
It's not easy, Prof. But
yes,
but we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this slowly.
Yes, there is no fast track,
Yeah.
This kind of career really need you to mature at one position at a time.
Perseverance and persistent. Yes.
We don't want people to say that at the end of the day, what professor you are?
That's right.
That's very sensitive.
Kita malu.
So it's good for you to build your, your niche.
Your niche. Basic must be strong.
Yes, very strong. When people ask you what professor you are, or
proudly say molecular biology.
Say that you are a professor in molecular biology.
Nice, Prof. Nice, Prof.
That's why I said there's no fast track. And don't be too stressed. It's just it's our journey. And everyone will have the same end.
Yeah, it's the same end, but different storyline.
Yeah, and try to get as much as possible barakah. If you still have parents, barakah is another blessed lah. I mean,
blessed, it's blessed for berkat.
Berkat. If you still have parents, please, keep a good relationship with them, because you need a lot of their doa.
Yes, the doa.
The parents' doa will be effective.
Yes.
And if you have partners, get blessed from, especially for women. If people ask me, okay, what is your secret?
What is your secret to be a successful woman, a mother, and a lecturer, and a researcher? I said that first is barakah from parents. I see. Second is barakah from husbands. Your journey will be, will be easier compared to other people, because you get dua from them.
So don't be like, I know that some of the female lecturer, they become dominant from the husband.
That should be another topic on what Mina. Researcher and mother.
But they are struggling,
Yeah, they're struggling. So really struggling. I respect those women that have this. They challenge themselves to be independent women and to be in a par with the men in terms of research and other management sites. Yeah, time seems to pass very quickly, Prof.
Yes.
Right. So.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes. Thank you so much for the very, very informative discussion today. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Prof. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. We couldn't have pulled off without you, Prof. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, finally we come to the end of our webinar. I would like to say thanks once again to our guest, Professor T.S. Dr. Azura, for the informative and interesting talk, and to the audience for your active participation. Hopefully today's webinar will be beneficial for everybody, right? So if Prof have this quote, so I do have my own quote also. Research formalized curiosity It is Poking and Prying with a Purpose by Zora Neale Hurston. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much, Prof.
Bye. Okay.
Bye.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you.
Thank you so much.